Saturday, baby. It is Saturday. I gotta keep thinking every time I have to think. October 20. Man, I don't even know. Is it the 26th? What was yesterday? 24th, 25th? Next Halloween starts. I don't know. I think it's October 25th. October 25th, 2025. I think it is. I really don't know. It's a Saturday. So whatever that is in 2025, the October 25th. I think it's the 5th. All right. Anyway, what difference does it make? All right. So I just decided to get out on the road today, just take a little drive. Not very far for me. Well, I guess it is far. It depends upon your perspective. And if you're living in the big city, if you go, I don't know, how far is it? 7 minutes away, that might be 1 mile. But I decided to go down the road to a local town, and they've got a good coffee shop there, and I never go and treat myself and buy coffee. I always grind it at home. I'll buy a $15 bag of, I think it's 2 pounds of organic beans, and I'll grind them at home, do a pour over, and that usually lasts me 2 days. But I've got the fluoridated coffee today, so probably won't be able to retain or recall much. I'll be calcifying my pineal gland with that fluoride. But it's a Cafe Americano, baby, with the espresso. I don't make espresso at home. I just do, like I said, I do the pour over the grounds after I ground the beans up. So I thought I'd treat myself. I had a great space last night. Yesterday was a long day. Really long day. After my morning video, then the 2.5 hour interview with Miriam Hanine. I always think Heinen. Why do I say Heinen? Because it's kind of like a German. It should be Hinein, you know the way it's spelled. Nine. And then happy hour with the lovely Litecoin Lisa, and then we did spaces, and that went till about 3 a.m. That was a long space, late night space, and it was a really good one. I've been out of it for a while. I used to do spaces on Thursday nights, Friday nights. I did a live show on Thursday, and then of course happy hour on Friday, and afterwards I do spaces, and it would go late. Friday nights would always go late. I usually didn't do a Saturday night, but I've kind of changed it up. I've taken some time off due to events, necessary events. So I took some time off, and I kind of reinvented it, and I came back, and I'm doing spaces again after happy hour on Fridays. Not live from the bar, but sitting at home in the chair. A little bit of a different environment. And on Saturday nights, I've been doing a space, which is nice. I'll probably do one tonight, actually. I think I've got an opportunity to do that. But I loved it. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoy that new people are coming in and resonating with the group of people that show up. And that's what I've always kind of seen this as. That's why I got into cryptocurrency. I always kind of saw it as a lighthouse that guides the wandering boats home. Cryptocurrency awakens a lot about energy and money that we didn't think about. We didn't think about for a long time. We've always known that something was screwed up. We've always known that, hey, something's broken. Why is it broken? Why is the cost of everything going up? Why is everything more unaffordable? You know, and we've just known that the economic system is just screwed up. A lot of us were drawn into the precious metals, silver, in order to hedge against the degradation of the dollar. And when cryptocurrency came along, it kind of, once you get it, it accomplishes the same thing. It has the same energy associated with it, the same mentality of people. It awakens certain things in people. It awakens your thoughts about money and energy and time. And because cryptocurrency, it's defined, it's mathematical. It has, you know, the good ones like Litecoin. It has a fixed supply. You've got blocks that come out and are transacted every 2.5 minutes. There's a specific time. After so long, you can't mine any more of it. There's no more. And so it gets you thinking about what money is. And it's decentralized. It takes participation. You need to use it, otherwise it has no value. You give value to it, and that's what makes it valuable. It's like artwork. Anyone can paint anything, but not everybody sees value in it. And when they do see value in it, they're willing to give money for it. They're willing to give energy for it. They're willing to do all kinds of things for it. And it gets you thinking about what motivates people, and why do people do what they do. What is money? What is your energy? What is it worth? What are things worth? And so it draws in a lot of similarly mindseted people, and that's what I really love about it. I don't do it for the money, obviously. I don't make any money doing this stuff. I barely have, and I have people that tell me, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers. And I've got like over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't care. I remember when I had 1,000 subscribers on Twitter at the time, and now it's X, and I knew what would happen as you get more, and I don't have a lot, I've got like 6,000 or something. I knew what would happen. You would kind of lose track of those original core people who supported you early on, because there was a lot more interaction, because you interacted with fewer people, because you had fewer followers. And as you get more followers, you tend to, it doesn't show up in your algorithm. It doesn't show up in your feed, because you can only see so much. And so it depends on whom you engage with, and it feeds you what it wants to feed you. And as you grow in the subscriber base, you might think it's great, but it dilutes your attention. And it's hard. So no, I always thought that, that is a danger. I don't want to be huge and big and, some big influencer, even though I know I have capabilities. I could do that. I could get sponsorships and, I could talk about things and promote things, but it's just not me. I can't do something unless I believe in it. I have to believe in it. That's just me. If I don't, then you'll know that I'm not authentic in when I'm promoting something. And so I don't promote anything. Anything that I talk about, it's because I like it and I use it, and I want other people to be exposed to it, so that, maybe it's something that can benefit them. And so the whole space is that way. And last night's discussion, there was a little bit of a discussion about that particular topic, and how, there are certain people who seem to change as they grow, and it becomes more about the money. It becomes more about promoting things, and more about just acquiring more money and building empires and that kind of thing. And, that's entrepreneurial spirit. And maybe I should have more of that, and I'd be in a better situation. But the thing is, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in a situation. Money's always been a burden for me. I don't like it. It's a pain, because the more you have, the more you have to worry about losing it. And when you're dependent upon that, you make decisions based on protecting that money. And it worries you more. And okay, what am I going to do with it? I should do this. I need to grow it. How much do you need? And that came up last night. Well, how much Digibyte should we have? Or how much silver should one have? How much Bitcoin should one have? Don't know. It's hard to answer that question. What do you need it for? Do you need it to retire? Well, nobody knows how much things are going to cost when you retire. You see the cost of everything going up right now. We saw somebody had shared the price of beef at a Publix store. I don't know, it might have been Florida. It was ridiculous. Ground beef, it was 97% lean. Yeah, 93% lean, 7% fat. But, that stuff in the store, it's a lot of water weight. But it was like 11 something a pound. Man, holy cow. You're paying $50 for less than 5 pounds of ground beef. It's absolutely unreal. And who knows what kind it is? Is it, what breed of cattle? And, and was it aged before it was ground up? Probably not. So you get a lot of water weight. And so you're not going to end up with that kind of weight once you cook it. And what's the price of that going to be in the future? So how much do you need to be able to purchase that same amount of beef in the future? Maybe you go and, hook up with somebody local, or put yourself in a position or make a connection with somebody local to where you can get it, because around here I can get really high quality beef for about $5.50 a pound from a local farmer, which it's raised here locally and it's processed here locally, and I know what I get. And to me, that's a steal for the quality that I'm getting. And so, and I know that, he's always going to be fair with his pricing. Now it's going to go up in the future because of input costs, but I know he's going to be fair, more fair than anyone else. And I know the quality that I get. So that connection is very valuable to me. That network is very valuable, having those people like that. So how much do I need? I don't know. And I can worry about that and think about that, and okay, I need to prepare for this, I need to prepare for that, I need to prepare, and you keep thinking that way, and you're never going to be prepared for everything that comes and gets you. Around here, everybody says, you live in Illinois, aren't you afraid of tornadoes? I'm like, no, I'm not afraid of tornadoes. I mean, they happen. There's been some that happened around here, but it's such a rare occurrence that the likelihood of everything being taken out by a tornado is very, very, very low. If you live in Florida, getting hit by a hurricane, the odds are a lot higher just because it's a bigger storm and it's going to affect more areas. A tornado is very localized, pinpoint. But that can happen. That's my point. You can save everything, you can have it in your possession, but then a tornado comes along and your safe ends up, how many counties away, where you have it stored. Your whole house is gone, knocked down to the foundations. So to me, the best way to prepare is to prepare, kind of yourself, is to prepare your ability to adapt to anything that happens. And that comes down to mindset. That comes down to, knowing who you are, knowing what you're able to go through, what trials you can handle, and being, mentally, spiritually prepared is really what it comes down to. Is your soul ready to handle anything? And if that's the case, then, everything will work out, because you can deal with anything. And I've got friends and stories, that what they've gone through and how they got through it, it looked like everything was lost. But they just kind of had faith that things were going to work out. And just, well, it is what it is. I'll get through it. And things just kind of unfolded for them. They just let it happen. And the worst thing that can happen to you is what? You end up dead, I guess. And maybe that's not such a bad thing sometimes, because, you got to realize that, you're eternal and your soul doesn't die. And so that's an inevitability. Your flesh is going to perish, it's going to fall away. So why are we worrying so much about those tangible things? It's good to be prepared. You should be prepared. You should have things that you think you're going to need, going forward. But is it something to worry about every day? To me, it's much better. I enjoy having conversations with people that, authentic, legitimate people. I enjoy that space. I enjoy meetups. I enjoy Fridays when I do a live stream with Lisa. When I have my meetups here, I enjoy that. I enjoy that energy of the people coming together. To me, that's priceless. That would be horrible not being able to do that. I like to go to the Litecoin Summit. I like to, I've been to several meetups in the past that other people have put on. I enjoy doing that. I like meeting new people who have similar mindsets and being able to share life with those people. It's like choosing your family. And time and time again, what comes up in the conversations that I have is that I'm glad I found this group. I'm glad I met you. I'm glad that I came to this because I almost didn't. And there's synchronicities that lead you to where you are. And I think about the times, just like, for instance, there's someone new has been showing up into the chat, and into spaces, and said that, I wouldn't have been here if it weren't for, this person coming in. And then, I came into the chat because that person was there and I never would have before. It's not something I typically do, but I'm glad I did, because, I feel like I fit in, and I feel like I can have conversations with people, honest, legitimate conversations, and we all resonate, and so, it's important to just kind of go with it. Just go with whatever falls in front of you, and be thankful for it and be grateful for it, and look at the synchronicities and look at how the universe works and look at how things just fall into place. And if one thing were different, you wouldn't be where you're at. And if you're thankful for where you're at and grateful for the people that you've met, think about all the things that might have happened that would have not allowed that to happen. And so, those experiences that happen, much more important than hoarding, stacks of assets and wondering how many you need, because that is priceless. Those relationships are priceless. And imagine not having met the people that you've met and how your life would be different. No amount of money is going to be able to buy you those types of experiences. People pay money. I mean, look how much money people spend on vacation just to go and do something different and, experience something different. And they pay a lot of money to do those kinds of things. But how important is that when, when you don't have the ability to talk to somebody or express to somebody your feelings and, your emotions and what your thoughts are and be understood, and have that dialogue with somebody, that finding those people that you can actually talk to is pretty important. So I tend to focus on that stuff more. Yeah, absolutely. Saving is important. I mean, it is, but eventually any money, type of money that you save, you're going to need to use it for something. And, it's hard to find good relationships. You can't really buy them, you just can't. So be thankful for those things. All right. I'm kind of going around and around in circles. But you get the idea. It's that pineal gland. I'm telling you, I'm calcifying it up with this fluoridated water. At least I know I'm doing it to myself. So many people don't know that what they're doing to themselves. If you're consciously doing it, at least you've got power over it. And, I know I'm poisoning myself. It's like drinking, I know I'm poisoning myself, but I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for the caffeine, and I do enjoy it. So, there's that. That conversation came up last night. We realize all these vampires are coming after us. What do we do about it? Well, the first thing is recognizing it. And if you recognize it, you can see them coming, and you can maybe react accordingly and dodge. But a vampire, and that's what all this system is, it depends on you to give it your energy, just like a vampire. It does not exist unless you feed it. It needs you. And so it's going to try to deceive you in many ways to give it your energy. And that's what this world does. That's what this government does. That's what so many things in this world, that's what it does. Fill in the blank. It convinces you and deceives you to give it your energy when you don't need to. You don't have to in most cases. And that knowing that what's happening will help you navigate, because most people, unfortunately, don't even know what's happening. They don't understand it, and they think they need to comply for whatever reason. Once you know what's happening, it's easier to navigate and slip through the cracks and under the radar. So knowing is half the battle. What's that, the G.I. Joe thing from the 80s? And knowing is half the battle. So, all right. That's all I got. Just some thoughts out cruising around. I'll do a Spaces tonight. I hope y'all hop in. I really enjoy it. I do. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful for everyone who has found it. Seeing that lighthouse, that wandering boat, making it to shore, following that light, because it really is. It's something deeper. There's something spiritual going on. There really is. I feel it all the time, and I feel it when I have the discussions with people, and I think they feel it too. So, yeah. Hope to talk to you tonight on Spaces. So trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your instincts. They won't steer you wrong. They really won't. But you've got to listen to yourself. You got to listen to that, what's in here. That's the most important thing. It really is. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful Saturday. Hope to hear from you on Spaces.